Hello, everyone, and welcome to Flavors of India, Grains of India. My name is Radhika Sarlashkar, and I'm a senior at Pittsford Sutherland High School.
I'm Rohan Vyas. I'm a senior at McQuaid Jesuit High School. Um, Hello and welcome to Flavors of India, presented by the India Heritage Museum at the Luthra India Heritage Center near the India Community Center. Today, we will be presenting the third program of a six-part virtual series displaying different foods from various parts of India.
In today's program, we're going to cover some grains and how they're used in variation during Indian cooking. Some things we'll be showing you are how to make roti, tepla, Jera rice, biryani, masala chas, and chai. With digital media at our fingertips, Indian recipes are an easy find on the internet. But we at the India Heritage Museum wanted to make the session fun by inviting locals from various parts of India to show us their traditional dishes of the region. We designed a menu of breads and rice dishes and have crafted a menu for you. We took the list of viewers from last week. And have selected a winner for our raffle, a modern pestle. Congratulations to Melanie Jones for winning our raffle prize. This week's raffle prize will be a Tepla and Balin, which is a special platform and rolling pin used to make breads that you'll be learning how to make today. We're going to swing over to the IHM kitchen to see what's cooking today. But while we wait, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our sponsor today.
And just a reminder, guys, make sure to turn on speaker view and enjoy the presentation.
And make sure you're on mute. Today's ingredients were brought to you by Spice Bazaar, a local Indian grocery store located in Rochester. We'd also like to give a special shout out to Tandoor of India, which is also a local Indian restaurant. We were very fortunate to visit them at their Fairport location and record some tasty biryani recipes for you that you'll be viewing today. Without further ado, let's get on to the live program. We're going to be switching over to the kitchen.
Hi, I'm Satvinder.
Hi, I'm Methi.
I'm Avni.
I'm Kabir.
And I'm Sarita.
And today we're going to be talking about how to take whole wheat flour and make it into these beautiful rotis or chapatis.
They look good.
You guys want to eat some?
Yes.
Well, first we got to learn how to do it. Get some, get going. Okay, so this is some whole wheat flour that we purchased from Spice Bazaar. And this particular brand is the Sujata brand of multi-grain atta or flour. Okay, so in Indian cooking, we don't tend to really measure things much, but you usually get an idea once you've done it a few times. However, we're starting out, this is new. So this is a 1 cup measure. We're going to measure out 1 cup of atta. Let's do 2.
So
Okay.
then there, if you're going to put 2 cups of flour in there, how many rotis about will that make?
So if with every cup, I want to say about 8 average size rotis, like yay size. Okay, and notice how thin they are as well. Okay, so we've measured out 2 cups of flour, and we're just going to use regular water, nothing special. It's a 1 cup liquid measure, and I'm just going to add it as I go. Okay, so you could, like when you usually make dough, you could make a little pool in the middle, and then just start combining. And you can do it in a bowl. This is called, Madhvi, what's it called?
A thali.
A thali. Yeah. So you can just add the water.
Now, can I use my the KitchenAid I have?
You can.
Okay.
Absolutely. Just like you would make any other dough, you can absolutely make that. And so I'm just trying to combine it, squeeze it as you go.
I'm
Okay.
guessing it's easier to do it with your hands because you can kind of get an idea if the dough is the right texture, the right, if it's feeling right for making rotis.
Right.
Right, okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But, some of us do enjoy touching it. And then you get a sense of, is it too hard or is it too soft? Now I'm feeling like it's nice here, but I need some more water to kind of get this dry bit together, and you can just move it around, you know. Some doughs, they say, like, you don't want to handle them too much, but atta is, you know, Indian atta is fine. It's not going to get too tough. I'm going to just get a little more water, I think, if you wouldn't mind grabbing some. Okay. And then we're going to combine it all so that it is, you can pour some on your hand. You just don't want to get too much. Okay. Now, when I squeeze it, I can see it's all coming together, and I'm going to form a dough ball. Okay. So,
And what should it feel like when you know that it's done? And
so when it should kind of bounce back at you, but what you want to do is you want to also let it rest after it is combined. And what I like to do, and it's a personal preference, I'm just going to add a little more water and kind of knead it so that I don't see any dry flour in there. Okay, so here we go. I'm forming a dough ball, and you don't have to do anything. You can just let it sit. But I like putting a little bit of oil on it, just some olive oil. Okay, put a little in my hand, and then
it just makes it a little bit more moist.
yes, and it doesn't stick to you,
Okay.
you know, to stick to your hands. And then just going to form it into a ball and let it sit. And you can just set it aside, let it rest for about 10 minutes. Okay, and then you can come back to it. Here's some that I prepared earlier. Okay, and notice how when I put my finger in it, it just sort of bounces back. And I'm going to set this aside. You can just sort of knead it. And notice how it has, like, after you've let it sit for a bit, notice the smooth texture. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
all right. And so, and this is ready to go. So this is the type of dough that you're going to want. And you can chill it if you want as well. I know when I was just learning how to make rotis, I preferred dough that was chilled because it was easier to handle versus the fresh stuff may be a little sticky. What's
Okay.
your experience?
Yeah, I like to leave it for a little bit. I usually don't put it in the fridge, but leave it out on the counter for maybe 30 minutes or so before rolling it out, which I think we're going to do right now.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll show you how to get from the dough to making these beautiful rotis. So we're going to roll them out. So what you would do is you take it, dip your fingers in a little bit of the dry flour. Okay.
Is that the same flour you used to make?
I did. Yes, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. And if you wanted to put it in a bowl or something, but I make, rotis often. And so I just use like a Wonder Bread container, but you could use any container, and I store it away in a drawer in my kitchen. So I'm going to make the balls, and I'm just going to form them and then roll them in the palm of my hand.
Now that's perfect. I mean, you have a lot of practice. That looks so good.
Years and years and years of it. But,
Okay.
you can, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you like, you can just take it and make a bunch of balls. Just break off, whatever. And if it ends up being a little too big, take some out. If it's too small, add some more. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then just roll it in the dry atta so that it doesn't stick. Okay, so I'll just do the 4 of these. Okay.
They look like donut holes.
They do kind of, don't they?
Yeah.
All right.
Getting hungry.
So here we go. Okay, now what you want to do, the next step, so we've made the balls. Okay, now you want to flatten them out a little. Okay. So just roll them between your fingers. This was hard for me when I first started learning. So you know what? Squash it in your hand, in the palm of your hand. And that's perfectly fine. All right. Okay, now let's take it over to the kids. And they're going to actually take these balls and roll them out. So,
all right.
So Kabir is rolling out a ball.
Just going back and forth, back and forth.
And what are you using today? What is that called?
I just call it a roller.
Okay, a roller. So it's a rolling pin.
Rolling
And the
pin.
Punjabi word for it is belna. And bale, the root word bale refers to rolling. Okay. So Kabir, when I was a kid and I started learning, that's how my rotis look too. But
Too thin.
I always wondered how they were so nice and round when you make them. Is it just
Right.
practice?
it's just practice. Practice makes progress. So here's one of mine that I rolled out. I'm gonna dip it in the dry flour, take the rolling pin, and everybody's rolling pin is different. So you just want to gently, I'm not doing this, just gently do it. And if you find that it's sticking, dip it in the flour again and just go for it. Okay.
Very circular.
So now we're going to take this. I'm going to shake off any extra dry flour. I'm going to take it to the stove. So here we have our skillet, or it's referred to as a tava. And you could check to see if it's hot. I have it on medium heat. It's been heating up. I can feel the heat and I know that it's ready. The other thing you can do is you could take a drop of water. If it sizzles, you know that it's ready. And then just place the roti on there. Okay. So now it's just going to take a few minutes and you're going to see a color change. When you see a color change, you know that it's ready to flip the roti. So I'm going to turn this up just a little bit, but notice the color change in there. So it is starting to cook.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And I don't see a spatula. How are you going to do this?
Fire hands experience. And like, because I was working with the dough, I've got some dough as a protective shield on my fingertips, but please feel free to use a spatula. So notice how the color has browned, flip it over and then let it cook some more. Once you start noticing bubbles, you're going to know that we're ready to flip it on to this next grate here, okay, which I'm going to turn up. And this is where we're going to have the roti puff up into a ball, okay?
While we're waiting for that, I think the kids, well, Kabir, maybe you have some questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
How long have you been making rotis for?
I have been making rotis for my family for about 20 years. So since a little, yeah.
And who taught you to make rotis?
I learned from my mom.
My mom.
How about you?
I learned from my BG and Nanni, my grandparents. So that was good. What about you guys?
I have not yet formally learned how to make roti, but this is my mom and she's wonderful. And I love her.
It's very good. What else do you love to cook in the kitchen? And what goes good with roti? What goes good
I
with roti?
personally love eating with roti. Avni, you were saying?
I like sabjis.
Sabjis. I'm more of a butter chicken fan, but that's just our preference, I guess. Have you guys ever tried parathas?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
I have.
What's your favorite type? What is your favorite type?
For aloo.
Aloo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like spinach. parathas.
Spinach? I'm a broccoli fan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So if you'd like to come back here, you can see that it's starting to bubble. Okay. And so at that point, you know that you can notice how it's starting to bubble up. And we can actually switch it up to here if you like. And put it on here and notice
Perfect.
it's going to puff right up.
Oh,
And this is exactly how to make the perfect roti. And don't be discouraged if the first time it doesn't balloon up, okay? Practice makes progress. And then all we do, okay, you can brown it some more, but this is good to go, all right? And you just put it on a plate, and then Avni is going to help us and butter our roti. Okay, so you can put a little or you can do a lot, and you want to get all the edges so it's nice and soft. Okay, and what we do is this is a roti dabba, and you can just put your finished roti in there. I blind it with foil paper and a paper towel, and then just cover it up so that they stay nice and warm, and you can transfer them to the table where your family will thank you. And that's how you make roti.
they look delicious, don't they, guys?
They look
Yes.
amazing.
All right.
Can't wait to eat them.
Yes.
Cannot wait.
There's more.
Ooh.
Thank you so much for showing us how to make them. Next, we're going to see how to make teplas.
Hi, I'm Sangeeta Amin.
And I'm Shruti Pandya.
Jai Shri Krishna.
કેમ છો બધા? કેમ છે સંગીતા?
મજામાં શ્રુતિ, તું કેમ છે?
બસ જો મજામાં. So, Sangeeta, there is this one American Express ad that I was thinking of. It says, you can't leave home without it. So what is that one thing that a Gujarati can't leave home without if they're traveling especially?
Tepla.
Ooh, so there's the Roti Tepla, there's Methi Tepla, there's kale Tepla, spinach Tepla, and I even made the avocado Tepla the other
Wow.
day. Yes.
My favorite.
What's your favorite?
My favorite actually is Methi Tepla, and it's making me hungry. Should we
Me
make
too.
some?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's make dough for Methi Tepla. Methi is fenugreek in English.
So we're going to start with the whole wheat flour here.
And I'm going to put all the dry ingredients first. This is turmeric, chili powder, cumin powder. You can also add whole cumin seeds if you like, salt, caraway seeds, sesame seeds, and sugar is optional. Sometimes I add brown sugar. It's your choice.
So no Gujarati food is ever really complete without sugar, so they
That's
say,
right.
but neither one of us really
Use it,
any
that's
sugar in our
true.
cooking. So I'm going to add all the wet ingredients. I'm going to start with the oil first because the oil should be mixed in with the flour to make it nice and soft. And then we'll add all the other ingredients. So we have this fenugreek that's finely chopped. You can use fresh or the dry kind. It's called the kasuri methi. It's available in Indian stores. Here we have some chopped cilantro, and we will be adding some green chili that's been crushed. If you want to have pieces, you can chop it finely if you like. We also have some crushed ginger, fresh ginger, and some people also like to add some crushed garlic if you like to eat that. And here's some yogurt, which also makes the tepla nice and soft. If you want to add more of the yogurt, you certainly can. That makes it nice and soft. And here we're going to add just the right amount of water to get that nice soft consistency of the dough, which is more like the paratha type of a
Yep.
dough.
And of course, your hands are washed.
Of course.
So this is a dough. It will look like after kneading, and it should be this consistency. And then pull out some dough that's golf ball size.
I actually add a little bit of oil, teaspoon or two of oil, and maybe I'll make this ball just a little bit smaller. This is my personal preference. And I do add the oil so that it's nice and smooth and it doesn't stick to your fingers or to your rolling pin. And so we're going to start rolling, and we also have to preheat the pan so that we don't have this rolled tortillas or teplas drying up. So we're going to start rolling these.
And then you can also use rice flour. I think Shruti loves rice
I
flour.
like the rice flour. That's what my mother-in-law's little.
And then I think it makes it roll smoothly, but I like wheat flour because it makes it softer. So you can prefer whatever you like.
That's your preference for sure. So you
And
can
then-
add a little more
Yep.
flour if you need to, because sometimes the dough, if it's too soft, then it doesn't move as well. So here we are trying to make it about 6 to 8 inches in diameter.
And if you don't have this rolling pan or something, you can also use parchment paper. That's easy. You can just use your rolling pin. Any rolling pin is fine, and you just put the dough, put a little oil, and then roll. That will be fine too. This is the thickness we are looking. That's also your preference. You can make it a little thicker too. That's fine.
And I also like to shake off some of the dry flour if you want to, so it doesn't burn on that pan. And it's ready to now roast.
Yeah.
So while we were rolling the teplas, we had this pan being preheated. Now that it's ready, I can tell it's ready because I can feel the heat here. And once the color changes on that, we will flip it. But right now, it doesn't look like there's really much happening. We'll wait just a little longer. And I can see a little color change. You want to see? Come take a look. Yeah, so you can actually see a little bit of bubble forming, or you can see a little browning occurring there. And once that happens, we will flip it. I have a tendency to go with my fingers, and a lot of people are concerned that I might burn myself. So we're going to oil slightly. We're going to be doing some shallow frying here. You can put a little less or a little more. I usually like to use a very small spoon, so I have a little more control over how much oil I put in there. And now, that's the color I want to see. Peachy golden brown, not too dark. And we'll put a little more oil here and spread it around evenly. If it fluffs into a ball, that's always exciting, but may not always be that lucky. I can see a little bit of the ball forming, but you can see how it's nicely cooked evenly all around. You don't see any uncooked areas, and that is done. That's how it is.
These are the teplas. When it's ready, it looks like this. You can have it with pickle, chundo. You can find it at Indian stores, and enjoy. Thank you for joining us.
I hope you enjoyed as much as we do.
We'd like to thank Sangeeta Auntie and Shruti Auntie for making that video for us. We appreciate it. Next, we're going to head live back into the kitchen and see what we're cooking next.
Hi guys, we're back in the kitchen.
Hi.
And we're going to be showing you how to make an Indian version of rice called Jera rice. Jera is the same thing as cumin seeds. And this is a very easy way to make it, but it's so flavorful. So what you're going to do is first take about a cup of rice, which I have over here. And what I've had Serena do for me is wash it already. And we're going to leave it in here for a couple more minutes while we get the other stuff in the pot. So what we're going to do is take about a teaspoon of oil, and we're going to put it in this pot and just wait about 30 seconds or so for it to get warm. Yep, that looks good. And then, so this is the Jera. This is what it looks like, the cumin seeds. It has a great flavor. It's really, really delicious. And I'm going to put that right in here, about a tablespoonful, and just saute it for about a minute. You can, like, if you were here, you would actually smell the flavor. It is delicious.
And you can actually see them swell up as well.
Yeah.
As they're cooking.
Yep. They get a little brown. And once they do that is when we want to put the rice in there. So it looks just about ready. And I'm going to take this rice that's already been rinsed and we will put it in there. Ooh, the sizzle. There we go. And again, I'm also going to saute this for about a minute. Kind of get everything mixed in, the oil, the Jera, and also the rice. And it was 1 cup of rice. So what you want to do is put 2 cups of water in it to make the rice. So this is 2 cups. We're going to put it in there.
So gently pour it in. And that's 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water.
Yes. Yep.
And so what if I wanted to make 2 cups of rice?
Well, you would get 2 cups of rice and then you would double it. So it would be 4 cups of water.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
And then what I want to do is turn it up a little bit more so that it can start boiling. Once it starts boiling, what I want to do is put the cover on. Well, first what I want to do is lower the heat. So I'll probably want to lower it to about a 4 or so. Thank you.
Just want to make sure that it's thoroughly mixed.
Absolutely. And then you'll see it boiling. And once you do, you're going to lower the heat. You're going to put this on here. And what you're going to do is turn a 15-minute timer on. And what I do, you don't want to open this up too much, but what I do is I'll open it up once in between, kind of just to make sure that it's, working well and it's cooking well. And then at the end, what you're going to have is a product that will look something like this. And it's delicious. What do you eat Jera rice with, Sathinder?
dal, any sabjis, usually something liquidy, How about you?
Yeah, that's what I usually do too. And then I also put dahi in it sometimes, which is yogurt. I forgot to tell you, as soon as it's done 15 minutes later, what you want to do is take it and just fluff up the rice. And that's how it's going to look like this. The rice is basmati rice that I got from Spice Bazaar. And this tastes just, it's a very, very delicious way to make rice that gives it a great flavor.
And look at the long grain.
Yes.
Okay, so this is how you can tell that it is a basmati rice. It tends to be a very long grain. And could you make it plain without the jera?
Oh, absolutely. You can definitely make it plain. A lot of times if you have something you're eating with that has a lot of flavor, you might want to make it plain.
Okay.
So
what if I wanted to add some vegetables? Could I do that too?
Absolutely. Yep. Just put them in after it's boiled and you put them in there and leave them for 15 minutes and it will be perfect. So yeah, it's delicious.
Wonderful.
I think we have our dinner set for tonight. What do you think?
I think so.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
We'd like to give a big thank you to Satvinder, a resident of Pittsburgh for over 16 years, who's passionate about living a simple, healthy, meaningful, and balanced life. Also, a big thank you to Madhvi, who is a mom of 3, a personal trainer, and a partner with a new lifestyle brand called Savi. She is passionate about living her best life while helping others do the same. Another big thank you to Serena, who's in 10th grade, Avni, who's in 5th grade, and Kabir, who's a senior at McQuaid Jesuit High School. Now, we'll be showing you how to make biryani. Thanks to Tandoor of India for letting us spend time in their kitchen while we learned how to make this dish. Hello, welcome to our featured demo at Tandoor of India located in Fairport. I'm Radhika and I'm here with Chef Raj. He's going to be showing us how to make some tasty dishes today.
Okay, we are cooking veggie biryani. Let's start cooking.
So Chef Raj, tell me what goes into this vegetable biryani?
Veggie is going to be mostly fresh cut veggies. We're going to start with the little bit of veggie oil, garlic and ginger, potato, carrot, and cauliflower, peas, onion, bell pepper, and we're going to use a jalapeno to spice up the biryani. And some dry ingredients are like cumin, fenugreek leaf, turmeric powder, garam masala, salt, and biryani masala. And we're going to decorate it with fried onion.
Sounds great. Let's get started. So, Chef Raj, how do we begin?
Okay, let's start cooking. We're going to add a little bit of oil. Some cumin seeds. We're going to let the oil to be a little more heated.
And all of the measurements will be provided to you after this session.
Like a half teaspoon garlic and ginger, maybe a little more. Like pinch of turmeric powder. And now we're going to add our veggies. This is potato and carrot. Cauliflower. Green peas.
So can we also use frozen vegetables for this?
Yes, we can, but we do mostly fresh. How are you guys going to eat today? The mild, medium, or spicy?
Medium.
Medium. We're going to add chopped jalapenos.
how did you cook your carrots and potatoes? Because I see they already have some masala on them.
Because of the cooking potato and carrot, it's a longer procedure. So I already cooked. I can show you the later. But we can start with the same with the fresh potato and carrot. Will take a little longer for the procedure. And add a little bit water in it.
It already smells really good in here.
Salt according to your taste. And this is fenugreek leaf crushed into the powder. And this is our house-made garam masala.
So, Chef Raj, what is your favorite type of biryani?
I do mostly vegetarian or chicken, and a little bit mint leaves. I forget that to bring.
What is the most commonly ordered biryani in your restaurant?
Mostly chicken biryani. Yeah.
Very interesting.
And add some little bit tomato sauce into it. And when it's mostly get cooked, and we use Shan biryani masala as a Bombay biryani masala, and you can get it from Spice Bazaar on Jefferson.
So, what does biryani masala actually have in it?
So mostly has like dried red chili, plum, and mint in it. So give you the minty flavor, and we use only this kind. And mostly when you can cut your veggies with your serving spoon, like they're ready. So they're good. Most importantly, rice goes in, and some cilantro leaves.
So what kind of rice are you using to make this? What kind of rice are you using?
The basmati rice. Biryani is ready.
So Chef Raj, tell us a little bit more about the carrots and potatoes. Why do you saute them before, and what's in them?
There's garlic, ginger, and turmeric powder, and salt, and it takes a little longer to cook more than other veggies. So that's why we sauteed them first with those spices.
Similar to the garam masala we saw earlier in a Zoom session, biryani masala is also a blend of spices that has spices like turmeric, chili powder, dill, fennel, and cumin.
Okay, here's the final. Veggie biryani is ready. It's healthy and fresh veggies with rice.
Thank you so much to Chef Raj once again for letting us come to the kitchen and join him. Next, we're going to show one of her featured drinks, which is masala chas.
Hi Jane, how are
Hi
you?
Manisha, how are you? Long time no see.
Pretty good, but just stuck at home with COVID. I was planning to go to India this summer, and I was thinking if you have any deals going on.
Oh, absolutely. We have lots of deals. But my thinking, why do you want to go to India in summertime? It's so hot there.
I know summer gets very hot, but kids have vacation only then. But my mom makes the special drink, Matha, which helps, like it's very soothing, calm. So it's good, and summer is bearable in India.
So, Matta, is it the same thing that we call sambaram in the southern part of India?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
We have been to Andhra also, and we lived there a lot, and they call majika there. And Maharashtra, they call tak.
Okay.
And Gujarat, I think you call it chas.
Okay.
Should we show our viewers how to make
in
it?
Tamil Nadu and Kerala, they call it moruvalam. So Manisha, here are the main ingredients to make masala chas. We have buttermilk, we have water, we have chopped ginger, half-inch piece ginger, couple of chilies chopped. We have a teaspoon of cilantro and mint, half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of chaat masala, and salt, and half a teaspoon of cumin. Now, you being a dietitian, I'm sure you have know all the benefits of all these herbs and aromatics.
Yeah, I'm very excited, especially the buttermilk. It has a lot of healthy benefits. So buttermilk, it's made from yogurt, and yogurt benefits are a lot. Like it's a good source of protein. Just 1 cup gives you 9 grams of protein. It also is a very good source of calcium. You meet 1/4 of your daily needs with just 1 cup of yogurt. So other than that, it also, if you look at this buttermilk label, you can see that just 1 cup is 100 calories, which is a very low calorie drink with good source of protein in it. It also has live cultures. So we have probiotics here, which again is a very good and natural probiotic you are getting from the buttermilk and from yogurt. Then I see a lot of good Indian spices here.
Sure.
And if you remember in the last week in Sandhya showed us the benefits of all the spices.
Absolutely.
We also have ginger here, which has an important antioxidant. So it has its own benefits.
Sure.
Then chilies, which are rich in vitamin C.
Absolutely.
So it's all in all looks like a
And we have
yummy
a
drink.
special ingredient here, which is called kala namak, black salt. It is, it's got some mineral salts and it's got sulfur, which is very good for us. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to put everything in the blender. We're going to put like 3 cups of it, 3 cups of the buttermilk. And maybe a little bit of water just to thin it down. That's half cup. And then we will add the ginger, chili, salt and the black salt, the chaat masala, and the powdered cumin. So we've got to blend all this and then we'll serve it as a drink. So what we've done right now is we've mixed everything in the blender, we've blended it, and we're just going to pour and then give it a little garnish and serve.
I can already smell this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's such a nice aroma coming out of this.
Absolutely. So we garnish it with a little bit of cilantro and a little bit of mint, and voila, here we go.
Thank you so much to Jane Auntie and Manisha Auntie for showing us how to make masala chas. Now, back into the IHM kitchen live, we're going to learn how to make tea, another one of our featured drinks.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Satvinder,
And I'm Serena.
and we're going to show you how to make chai or Indian masala tea. So you got to start off with some spices. So what we have here is some loose leaf tea. Feel free to use any tea bags as well, like any black tea. Okay, here's some peppercorns, some cloves, ginger, fresh ginger. You can also use ginger powder if you don't have the fresh stuff. Here's some cinnamon and then cardamom. And what we did was we took a few of these items and put them in the pestle and mortar, and we just ground them up. And this is what we have, okay? And we broke up some cinnamon as well as grated some of the ginger, okay? And you could just put a piece in and throw that into the teapot or into the pot. So here we've got a cup of water that's been boiling. Okay, and I'm just going to turn up the heat, and then we're going to add each of these items. So here are some of the ginger that we chopped up. If you like ginger, you can add it. If you don't have to. Okay, and then some of the spices that we mixed up ground up in the pestle and mortar. And then we have some cinnamon. So we're just going to let that, if you take a look, it's going to just boil, and the flavors are going to seep through and be in the water, absorb through the water. We're going to let this boil. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of the tea leaves. Okay. I've misplaced my teaspoon. So 1 teaspoon of tea leaves, 1 cup of water. We've added a teaspoon of ginger and cardamom and peppercorns if you like, cinnamon, cardamom. So just add whatever it is that you like, but typically this is what Indian masala chai would have. We're going to let this boil.
And while we let it boil, I had a question for you. So I know that we use a lot of these different kinds of spices inside the cha. And isn't it hard to, like, every single time prepare so many different things in your mortar and pestle?
It can be time consuming, but some people don't, really enjoy the process of grinding the spices so that the flavors can be really sharp and strong. But do you remember what your nanny would do?
She would keep it in a little container, and then whenever she wanted tea, whether that was in the afternoon or morning, then she could just take it out and make her tea.
Right. And in India, tea is a staple for, in the morning when you wake up, they call it bed tea. Have you heard of that?
I have not, actually.
Oh, well, your grandfather would make bed tea for your grandmother, and that was something special that they shared. Tea can be had after a nice meal, a heavy meal of parathas at lunch. And it just helps it sit and makes you feel better. It can be a heavy meal. And then again in the afternoon. And some things that you can enjoy with tea in the afternoon. Any ideas? You've had tea before in the afternoon?
Yeah, I've had tea before. You can have it with any cookies, or what are some Indian?
You could have pakoras.
Or samosas,
dokla, all kinds of different Indian dishes, some samia if you wanted bel puri, all kinds of different snacks that you could enjoy it with, or you could have the tea on its own. So now it's boiled. Some people who enjoy sugar can add the sugar, or you can add it after or not add any at all. I'm going to add some milk. So if you like your tea black, that's fine. You can skip this step. But Indian tea is usually enjoyed with some milk. So I'm just going to pour it in and take a look at the color. Some people like a darker color, and it's personal preference. So I just added some. It's like a nice caramel-like color, and just let this come to a boil. Once it's boiled, then we can just sieve the tea into our teacups and enjoy.
Thank you for that wonderful masala chai recipe. Since we did talk about rice and atta, we're also going to talk about other millets and grains that are used in India. Wheat and rice have known to be the staples in Indian cooking, but there are many other grains and millets that are used. These millets are turned into flours and are usually used to make breads. They don't have gluten, so they're perfect for those who have a gluten intolerance. They're very rich in fiber and nutrients, and you can make different kinds of bread, including parathas, rotis, and other kinds of breads found in different regions of India. Some variety of the millets used to make this Indian flatbread are sorghum millet, finger millet, which is ragi, and pearl millet, which is bajra. If you've enjoyed our sessions thus far, we have another one coming up next week, Saturday, which will be vegetable dishes highlighting South Indian food, such as dosa, sambar, chutneys, filter coffee, and we'll also be showing you how to make a famous street food, vada pav. We hope you can join us next week from 2:30 to 3:30. Now is a great time to ask questions, so start filling up the chat. All of the meetings that you have seen so far and the recipes will be available on our YouTube channel at the end of the 6 weeks. If you've attended today's program, you'll get a link with information and the video for today's recipes. You will also get recipes written out in an email after the program.
I am curious to hear a little bit more about Gujarati rotis because I know there's a little bit of a difference. So Madhvi, can you just share a little bit about that? We heard about Tepla earlier, but if you're just making a simple Gujarati roti at home, can you share how that might be a little bit different?
Yeah, definitely. The process itself is similar, but the rotis are a lot thinner, if you can imagine, because the ones that Satvinder made were thin, but these are pretty thin. And usually, you know, when my mom used to make these, my dad would have 5 or 6 because they're so thin. We also put ghee, which is like clarified butter, on top of the rotis instead of just regular butter. And then also in the dough, in the atta, we do add a little bit of salt and a little bit of oil. So those are some of the differences. They taste very similar as well. So
How do you make them so thin?
yeah, my mom does. I'm not perfect at it yet, but she's very good at it. It's just practice, really. So just as you would get it, you know, round, you're going to get it as thin as the roti as you practice more. So
How big are they?
they're a little smaller actually than the ones you showed. So probably like this, I would say. Yeah.
I could eat 5
And
of those.
yeah, yep.
Wonderful. And
We're getting more questions.
what's that?
We're getting more questions.
Are we? Okay, great. Go ahead, Radhika.
So how long can a tepla or roti be stored at room temperature? And when we can store them after?
Great question.
Usually you can store them. What I end up doing is the day I make them, we will eat them, and then I will put them in the dabba, which Satvinder showed us, and then I will put them in the refrigerator. They probably can last 2 to 3 days. Usually they don't in the house because, you know, people do enjoy them, but they can be stored in the refrigerator for 2 to 3 days. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And in the cool winter months that we have, I'll wrap it up in any leftovers in the foil and just leave them on the countertop. However, in the winter, or in the summer, you're gonna want to put them in the fridge.
Yeah.
Speaking of wrapping up, I think we're going to wrap up today's session. Thank you so much for joining us at our third session of Flavors of India. We hope you enjoyed what we showed you today and hope you join us once again next week and the following week to learn more about Indian foods. We hope to see you again and have a good rest of your day.